Once, the famous astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson put it briskly that if a black hole visits us, the solar system would have a bad day. After all, there's hardly anything worse than the ability to be broken into atoms. But we are used to thinking that black holes are somewhere far away, in other parts of the universe. But what if one of them literally appears on our doorstep? What happens if an uninvited guest with the size of 1 millimeter settles near our Earth? Physicists asked a similar question in 2008 when the Large Hadron Collider was launched. Then, many scientists, among whom was also Stephen Hawking, feared that the greatest invention of mankind could create a multitude of microscopic black holes that would swallow everything around, and we would cease to exist forever. Moreover, these are far from the only problems that were predicted by the opponents of the collider. However, more than 10 years have passed since then, and if you're watching this video, it means that the Large Hadron Collider works quietly away by itself and doesn't create any dangerous pieces capable of destroying the Earth. Or is that just for now? In fact, to produce a mini black hole, you need 1,015 times more energy than the Large Hadron Collider can withstand. But even if we manage to use such a huge amount of energy to create a micro black hole, we would need to work with the fourth dimension in space, which in this context isn't particularly well studied or understood. But suppose we miraculously manage to create a microscopic black hole in our limited and wretched 3D world. I hasten to upset those who are looking forward to the apocalypse. It would have to be postponed for some time. But in this case, the mini black hole is most likely to instantly evaporate, thanks to so-called Hawking radiation. After all, black holes do not only absorb energy, but also give it away. So the Large Hadron Collider does not threaten us at all, at least in any case, until the time we learn to use a large amount of energy and fully explore the fourth dimension in space. However, microscopic black holes can occur even without the Large Hadron Collider. The fact is that right now, billions of black holes pervade our planet. So, what's happening? Are we doomed and the Earth would soon be torn apart into small pieces by mysterious space objects? Relax, it's not so bad, at least for now. After all, our multi-million army of black holes has been attacking our home planet for billions of years. At the same time, the mass of individual black holes could reach up to 100 tons, but their size isn't more than an atom. Such a small diameter gives rise to a correspondingly small event horizon, a hypothetical line beyond which space and time are bent, and matter begins to be absorbed and torn apart by atoms. For this reason, the mini black hole can't devour even the bacteria on your dining table. But even if it starts to eat our home planet, it would take a very long time. Several billion years, in fact. By this time, humanity is likely to have become extinct, or else it would have found another place of residence in the universe. However, if the diameter of a mini black hole increases to a size visible to the naked eye, events would turn out completely differently. We won't baffle your brains with complex calculations from the strange world of higher physics, but according to calculations, a black hole with a diameter of 1 millimeter would have a mass of more than 5 lunar masses combined, which is about 11% of the Earth's mass. The scale of the influence of a black hole depends on where it's located, on the surface of the Earth or in the center of the planet, or, for example, in the room of some guy you hate. Suppose that a black monster, 1 millimeter in size, is located on the surface of the Earth. The sphere of influence of a black hole would be about a third of the Earth's radius, about 1,320 miles. That's 2,124 kilometers. This would lead to a noticeable increase in the overall gravity of the Earth, which in turn would affect the orbit of the Moon. It would stray off its current course and begin to move into an elliptical orbit. But if the moon only changes its course and remains alive, another and more terrible fate would await us, and all matter in close proximity to this monster. If we were close, we wouldn't be torn to pieces, and it would happen so quickly that we wouldn't have time to blink an eye. Having settled with us, the black hole would purposefully move to the center of the Earth, and nothing and no one can stop it. Without common obstacles, it would absorb everything and reach the center of the Earth in just 42 minutes. This insatiable monster passing through the core of the Earth, and at about the same time it would reach the other side of the surface. But the black hole, too, wouldn't stand still. If its relative speed is at least 12 kilometers or 7.5 miles per second, it would rotate around the Earth along with its sphere of gravitational influence. With each circle, the Earth would lose mass. Thus, the black hole would begin its meal, absorbing the crust and most of the mantle. It means our complete destruction and destruction of all life on the surface of the Earth. But before absorbing all living things, the black hole smooths out the corners, apparently to make it easier to eat. Thus, the gas would twist into a gravitational spiral, like sugar during the creation of cotton candy, and our planet would turn into just a broken disk of hot stone. The material of the formed disk would produce a lot of heat. It's assumed that it would have a temperature of about 6,000 Kelvin, approximately like the Earth's core or the surface of the Sun. Because the disk would be radiating as if highlighting a black hole, it would be an amazing and at the same time eerie sight. Because a black hole, like a vampire, would suck the radiance of its energy from the planet. Scientists believe that the space monster would take 5 billion years to finally eat our home planet. During this time, the mass of the Earth would increase significantly, but the shape of the planet familiar to us would change beyond recognition. It would probably be similar to the fall of the legendary Pompeii, which was wiped out by burning lava, only on a cosmic scale. In just a few hours, the beautiful and densely populated blue planet would turn into an uninhabited shred of space where only the collapsing crust, lava, and hot gases would reign. Naturally, the disappearance of the Earth wouldn't pass without a trace. The asteroid belt would collapse, which would lead to frequent collisions for 1 million years in the solar system. To complete chaos, there would be no place for life, which simply becomes impossible. So far, these are only terrible assumptions and theories, but they're still far from us. In any case, humanity still has a head start in 5 billion years to build the Noah's Ark and move to some other planet. And maybe in another galaxy, because it's far from fact that the solar system can live for so long. But for now, you can safely allow billions of mini black holes to permeate you without fear of breaking into atoms, although it would look kind of spectacular.